Oh, I must paint my garage? Sure thing. A friend of mine lived in a pretty big neighborhood with a pretty strict HOA. He was the first house at the bottom of the hill that you saw when you drive in. He asked and was allowed to add a garage onto his house and did so, siding it with cedar planks. It looked great. His HOA disagreed and told him the bylaws state all exposed walls must be painted. He tried to appeal but was shot down unanimously. So he checked the bylaws further and found that while it was stated that all exposed walls must be painted, there was absolutely no mention of any color restrictions. By the time he was done, each plank was a different primary color and there was nothing they could do about it. They were furious with him and he laughed his ass off. Edit: this blew up. I didn't think it was all that interesting, just a story of a guy I used to know. To answer a few questions/comments, this was back in the early 90s. The HOA was created years after the neighborhood had been established. Maybe they assumed no one would use anything but tasteful colors. IDK and don't care. I also don't care if you believe the story or not. Using a clear coat/wood-like finish would defeat the purpose of his giant duck you to the whole neighborhood. I said he was a friend, but that's not quite true. He was some guy I knew through a boyfriend and hung around a lot. He took great joy in being an equal opportunity dick.
Now to the comments. Reminds me of this lady and her malicious compliance over a fence.
Doesn't see eye to eye with her neighbor. Gee, I wonder why she installed the fence then. What no one mentioned was because she was forced to trim the fence. She cut it in the most haphazard way. Looks like most of the fence on her side is covered by foliage, so she won't see it anyway.
And the color on her side is nice. Only the neighbors have to see the neon. Well, they shouldn't have started shit. I think a colorful, fun wall like that is the perfect response to an uncooperative HOA. I hope he thoroughly enjoys his wall of many colors.
Wall of only 3 colors.
Technically, yes. But I'm sure each repeat was a separate slap to the HOA. My walls aren't exposed, I've covered them with cedar planks. Can I pretty please add a garage to my house, that I paid for, so I can keep snow and bird shit and pollen off my car and have a place to store tools? By your leave, pretty please with sugar on top. Humph. Well, if you must. I guess it's okay with us, since you asked nicely. Duck HOAs and everything about them. Duck the people that run them and duck their parents for having them.
First thing I told my real estate agent when I was shopping for a house. No HOA.
Same. And she won't stop sending ducking HOA homes to us. Dude. No. Home. Owners. Association. Houses. Our HOA requires a $500 deposit before you paint your house. If they don't like it, they keep the deposit. They also have 4 approved color options for the houses. You can't match your side neighbors or neighbors across the street. Sucks if you choose late, you have no choice. Yeah, we sold and are moving in a few weeks.
Someone on the HOA board sells that paint.
Reminds me of the time our local city councilman wanted to pass a new law requiring Airbnb hosts to have special insurance. That councilman's day job? Insurance broker. I hate that he didn't break any laws. Wow, HOAs truly suck. I'll be danged if I drop a couple $100,000 on a house to be told what I can and can't do with it. Cedar is so beautiful. The building permit fella told me several of my neighbors were quite upset about my new shed. Said they had anonymously phoned him and complained that morning. They had demanded that my shed be stopped. I had a lady on the right. An old man on my left. And a cemetery. The cemetery residents only complained one night a year, so not them. The permit fella took my check, signed my paperwork, and said, "Traffic cone orange is such a lovely color, don't you agree?" I did agree. Sounds like a story for r/duck HOA. HOA's board members are usually retired and they enjoy making life miserable. They will also pick on people they don't like. I was at a friend's house late one night and my pickup was parked in the street. I left but I came early the next morning and parked in the street. Some busybody apparently saw it late at night, then saw it the next day. He was given a written warning via registered mail saying vehicles are not allowed to be parked in the street overnight, and the next time he would be fined $150 every time it happened.
Have your buddy install a camera. They want to fine you, can produce proof it wasn't there overnight.
They should have to prove it was parked overnight. Otherwise, the neighbors can just say whatever. I'm picturing the likes of the Equality House that's across from the WBC in Topeka, Kansas.
I like that house, it's done well and looks like someone moved into a pad of post-its.
Can he paint Jeff Goldblum in his Jurassic Park pose? That would be so cool. Is there purely an HOA edition subreddit of malicious compliance?
r/duck HOA.
Depending on the exact wording of the bylaw, I might have painted it in transparent weather seal and sent them a copy of the receipt as proof, but yeah, making them regret their arrogance works too. I never understood this. You own the house? Why is there an association telling you what to do with it? Land of the free, my ass. Why would anyone buy a house in a HOA? You may as well just rent. You don't even own your house really if you can't do what you want to it. Reminds me of a cottage in UK. The local council insisted he repaint walls between the beams white or cream. He did, but found out the roof color wasn't specified. It is corrugated metal, and has been dandelion yellow for years now. Americans are all about freedom, then have these ducking weird rules about where they live, only certain places I'm sure, but still. I always upvote anything that ends with sticking it to an HOA. It's ridiculous that those associations are legal with how often they power trip over residents, controlling NIMBY ducks. I would have painted it the color of weathered cedar.